It's a new week in the Crew Motorfest, and this week's theme is called Apex Opening, and this is my summit guide. Let's go. All right, real quick before we get into it, if you're looking for any of my Motorfest tunes, you can go to militiagamingco.com, click on Motorfest tools from the top, and there you will see all of my tunes, plus a few other Motorfest tools that you can use. All right, let's get into it. So the summit bundle for this week is the RB14 Disruption Edition and the RB13 Alpha GP car. This whole entire week is Alpha GP, and we've got a new modifier called the Pro Racing. We'll explain that in just a bit. Now, there's one additional vehicle you could use, but you don't really have to if you don't already own it, and that's the Red Bull RB14. You can just use the Disruption Edition and the RB13 for literally every event in the summit. All right, the keys to the summit are adjusting to the Pro Racing modifier and slipstream, and unfortunately, not everybody has access to slipstream, so this summit is going to be a little bit unfair at the top of the leaderboard. That being said, I don't think slipstream is necessary for you to get platinum. It really doesn't matter. Those guys that are at the top, they're competing for that #1 spot, and that's why they're using slipstream. You can get a very, very good time without slipstream, but it does help you boost. So if you have a friend, definitely use it and use slipstream. Now, the keys to the slipstream actually are adjusting your parts. You don't need any nitrous because of the Pro Racing modifier. So switch your parts to the two affixes called trailer and shifty. Those will give you more power as the slipstreamer and more power as the person getting the drag bump. It just gives you more and more speed, and it's better for you since you really can't use any NOS. Speaking of not using NOS, the Pro Racing modifier is in effect. That means you have no NOS, you have no speedometer, you have cockpit view, and you have no mini map. So this is going to take some getting used to. You're gonna have to run these tracks a few times to understand what the car is doing and how to handle it. Now, for me personally, I actually switched to direct mode for this. I'll give you my direct mode settings if you want to give it a try. It is way more twitchy, but it is something that is manageable in AGP. So specifically for this, I'm switching to direct mode because it gives me a little bit more control, and I definitely needed it in order to go fast. So anyways, let me give you the pro settings, and then we'll get into the events. All right, the first event is called Free Practice, and for this one, you're in the RB13. This one is not super complicated. There aren't any like cuts or anything like that. It's just important to keep the tires gripped to the road. I'll just kind of give you one lap and show you just some general idea on what gears to be in and how to take corners. So let's do that. This is lap number 2. So you're at full speed here going into lap number 2. This first corner is a 6-gear turn. Again, direct mode helps a lot with this. Halfway into this turn, you'll switch to 7th, and then you'll downshift back to 6th here. Take this corner, downshift again to 5th. Corner, be patient on the accelerator there. It's very easy to over accelerate on that corner and hit the wall. There's a little jump here, be careful. Cut in right away into 7th for this one. And then back around. Hit this wall ride in 8th. And then when you come off the wall ride, obviously you want to be as straight as possible, but see how much slipstream helps? This entire straight, I am at fully maxed out speed, 418 kilometers per hour. It's insane. But there you go. Let's move on. All right, the next event is called Qualifying. You can use the RB14 or the Disruption Edition. I'm going to go ahead and show you my 3rd lap so we can talk about the different points of either braking or, you know, the gears, just like we did in the first event. There's not really any shortcuts on these closed tracks. So wall ride here, stay in 8th. Hug this wall on the inside here. You can downshift to 7th here. Let off the gas a little bit and then make it through the corner. Back into 8th when you get straight. Again, slipstream is your friend. For this one, it's a full speed turn. You don't have to brake at all. This next one, your braking point is going to be this flag right here, the 2nd flag. That's when you start to downshift. Let me back it up just a little bit for you. So you have these 3 flags here on the right side. This 2nd flag is your braking point. Brake, 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 heavy, downshift, make the turn, accelerate out. I went a little bit wide on that one. This is a 7th gear turn here, easily enough. And then you're going to downshift into 6 going into this little S. Try to hug this S as much as possible. That's how you want to do that one. And that's it, basically. All right, let's move on. All right, the next event is called Night Duel, and this one is with the RB13 as well. So for this one, it's kind of nice to just get rid of Max right away. I just kind of bump into him and take this corner. If you can do that, I recommend it. This turn is a 7th gear turn, but you can do it in 6th as well. You notice I went to 6th on that one. Again, with the wall ride. Again, no tricks here with these races, so just gonna have to try to be as clean as you can. Now there is one turn here that's pretty tricky. It's this one here. I strongly recommend lifting on the gas and just not accelerating over this corner. Try to go over this, you know, these striped rumble strips here, because the car lifts a little bit, and yeah, it's tough. This is a 5th gear turn here. I went way wide on it, and I went into the dirt a little bit. Try not to do that. 7th here, and this is the same S turn, so you're going to take it in 6th. You just aren't going to be following the S around. This is also a 6th gear turn, but you're going to go into 5th right about here. There we go. It's not the cleanest line there, but is what it is. 5th gear turn up the hill here. Get into 7th. If you have a slipstream partner, you guys will get to 8th, and you'll get to top speed up this hill, which is going to save you a lot of time. Now there is a reset here. Go straight towards the checkpoint and reset, then follow this around. There's not really any more tricks here, but I'll let you know which gear to be in. 3rd here. Could have been done cleaner, obviously. I think this is a 7th gear turn. 8th here. I dropped to 7th for a little bit more acceleration because I hit the dirt. Again, 8th here. And then you're going to double downshift to 6th for this turn. Back up to 7th, and then 5th for this turn. Could have been done a little bit cleaner, but you get the idea. And that's it for this one, man. All right, the next event is called Formation Laps, and this is with the RB14 again. For this one, there is a tire wear mechanic here, but you don't need that. If you're going to be in slipstream, use the slipstream affixed parts. If you're going to be solo, I would say go ahead and equip Iron Grip, because Iron Grip is going to give you a better benefit if you're all by yourself. Again, we have no NOS, so the NOS stuff really doesn't matter at all. But make sure you have Iron Grip if you're solo. If you're not, if you're slipstreaming, make sure you have those 2 slipstream affix. That's going to be your best bet. And you can make it through this race without pit stopping, even without Iron Grip. So that's why I'm recommending that. So anyway, here's the 2nd lap on this. Let's just talk about some of these things. This is a very heavy corner, and I went very, very wide. You need to make sure you brake early on that one. All right, nothing tricky here. This is just up the hill. Let's fast forward a little bit. Again, a heavy braking here at the end of this straight. Into 5th gear. Accelerate up the hill. Stay close to this wall on the left. Then close on the right. Then left. Downshift to 5th. For this corner here, you're basically done. The lap is very, very short. This is a 6th gear turn here, and then you're on the home straight. There you go. That's it for this one. Let's move on. All right, the next event is called Sprint Shootout, and this one is exactly the same as the last one. 3 laps. If you're solo, run Iron Grip. If you're not solo, run the Shifty and the trailer affixes. Those are going to be your friends if you're slipstreaming. So there we go. Here's my 2nd lap. Let's see if I can get a clean lap in here. I wasn't doing so good. Again, you can do this without having to pit stop. All right, hug the inside there, but go back right. And then this next turn here, I believe, is either a 4th or 3rd. I took it in 5th. My grip was getting crazy. You notice I lost the back end there on that one. There's nothing tricky here. Let's get to the end of this straight. Now this turn here does tighten up quite a bit. So I would say downshift early. I took it in 7th. I think I could have taken it in 6th. I think 6th is the way to go. All right, another straight here. And then a little S turn, you can take full speed. Even in slip, we took it full speed. And then the final turn is down here at the bottom of the hill. And you'll just make the right hand here. Brake a little early. I braked very late, lost the back end. Try not to do that. Obviously, my tire wear was affecting me, but it was still a decent time. So there you go. All right, the next race is called Hanauma Grand Prix, and this one is basically the same as the previous two, except you're going to want to run iron grip whether you're slipstreaming or not. This is a 5-lap race. You cannot make it through without iron grip on your tires. With iron grip, though, you can make it through all 5 laps. It is going to be a little bit slippery on the 4th and 5th lap, but you can make it through. And by making it through even slower 4th and 5th laps, that will be a faster overall time. So I strongly recommend that. That's basically your pit stop strategy, which is no pit stop. Now here's my 3rd lap, and we'll go through a couple of these corners. There's not really anything I can tell you other than the gear to be in. I was taking these pretty poorly. I went super wide on this one and had to come back this way. 5th on these turns, basically. A lot of throttle control too. It helps with the back end not sliding out like that. If you do that S turn right, you can go full speed. This turn's a 6-gear turn here. Up and over the hill. Let's just fast forward a little bit here. This is a 5th gear turn here at the top of the hill, or at the middle of the hill. Try to hug that railing to the right and then the wall to the left. And you can stay straight here. You don't have to get wide. I actually went wide on that, and you don't need to. Same thing with that left-hander. This is actually a good 6th or 5th gear turn. I was using 6th, especially later in the race, just to make sure I wasn't... oh yeah, that's right. I crashed on this one. So anyway, let me go back to this because this is something that's kind of silly. So this turn here, I was using 6th. And I recommend doing this for basically later in the race. You can use a 1 gear higher to take the turns. Just puts a little bit less torque to the rear wheels, and you might keep some traction a little bit more. Feels slower, obviously, but it definitely makes the car feel a little bit more settled, and you'll have a little bit more grip. So that being said, I went through here and I crashed. Of course, I show you the one lap that I'm crashing. So you don't want to take this red spot here in the on the inside of the corner. By doing that, you're definitely going to hit this wall. So try to stay a little bit farther to the right and then swing around the turn. But I think this is basically it. Yeah, this is the last checkpoint of the race. This will be 4th, or the last checkpoint of the lap. Yep, that's it. All right, I'll let my feats play out in their entirety, and then I'll be back with the final scores. All right, guys, here are my final scores. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, send me a DM on Instagram or Discord. I know this summit really wasn't that complicated necessarily. I think the most value in the video is really what part sets to use and if you're going to slipstream or not. So there you go. These are the 6 races and the 3 feats. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, any questions, send me a DM. I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. I will catch you on the next one. Trigger out.